Hey, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete, and I wanted to share a secret with you guys today. Come on down over here. Look at this tree right here. It's a nice looking tree. You better believe it's nice because it came from Shamus O'Leary's tropical fruit trees, and every tree I've ever gotten from Shamus has been in perfect state. I almost feel guilty taking trees from his nursery because I feel like I'm never going to be able to take care of it as good as he does. If you go over to Shamus O'Leary's tropical fruit trees on the west side of Phoenix, you'll see he has a wide variety of incredible edible trees, some non-edible, but he does mostly edible trees from star fruit to loquat and beyond. But this one, he's been teasing me with for a couple years, and finally yesterday when I was at his house, he let me buy a couple. So check out what it says. It says Arizona Avocado. And what this is it's a native avocado. And we call it native because there's a really amazing story behind this avocado of a mother avocado tree in the Aravaipa Canyon, kind of by Globe Superior area, that maybe was planted back in the 1800s, that's still alive to this day, and puts off avocados. It's an avocado tree that's trunk is so wide, it takes several grown men linking their arms together to put their arms around the trunk, and it takes the freeze, it takes the heat, and javelinas come from all over the place to eat the avocados as they fall to the ground. The canopy of this tree, they say, is 50 feet tall, 50 feet wide, and I'm gonna cut to Shamus right now and let the man himself tell you a little bit of the history behind this avocado and the story that goes along with it.
Actually, the guy that turned me on to a lot of this, he lives out in Gilbert, and he's got an acre, a third of madness greenhouses and so on.
Right.
And he called me up one day 5 years ago and said, hey, do you want to go with us? We're going to Dr. Al and Monty, we're going to take a look at this big mythological avocado tree out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like,
okay,
sure, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
Turns out that he is friends with the family. I guess the two sons play on a football team together, and they're both hunters. And the father of the other son that lives in Aravaipa mentioned that you should come up sometime to come javelina shooting, because when the avocados are ripe, all the javelina come out to eat them. And Doug, being someone that's been trying to grow avocado for years, says, and he has a mature one in his front yard, by the way, a different variety.
Okay.
What do you mean avocado? I said, okay. So we went to take a look at it. I was like, ooh, yeah,
wow,
this is something cool.
You guys just took cuttings off of it?
Yeah, the guy said it was okay, take some cuttings, do what you need to do. I brought the cuttings back and started working off them. Nice. Kind of all downhill from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's a cool story with it too.
So where did you graft it onto?
Well, what you do when you take budwood, these aren't quite ready yet, but when you see, and actually some of these you can, when you see a branch start to put out, when it has little bumps, which are going to turn into leaves and branches, cut that branch, and you take that, and with a razor, you cut out that little bump. And what you do is you take that over to an avocado or any type of tree that's already been growing, usually 6 to 8 inches tall.
Okay.
You can cut the top of it and put that on top, or you can place it on the side, and you tape it onto an open wound, and that'll start to grow. That's how mangoes are done. Everything's done. They're grafted together.
Yeah.
They just grow together, and then that takes over.
Nice. We're going to document the planting, the growing, and the maturing of these avocado trees, and we got 2 of them. So here's what I'm doing. I'm taking this one right here. I call this avocado tree Yin, and we'll put Yin in this hole right here. And look at where it is. So I'm standing here on my dock, and if you turn to the right, you'll see a bunch of koi fish in there eating some morning breakfast on my pond at the river. The sun rises over here in the east, and it comes up this way and sets over there in the west. And in the winter time, it's lower in the horizon behind me. So my hope is that as the sun rises and falls, this avocado tree will catch a little bit of afternoon shade thanks to these mesquite and acacia willow trees that are full mature. But it will still get enough sun because it'll probably be in the sun till about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The hole we've dug is pretty deep, and the soil is kind of clay-like. This is typical Arizona, Phoenix area soil. So we're going to amend this soil, and if you had the option, I would suggest going to Shamus O'Leary's place and buying his $5 bags of soil from him, because he has a really good mix. But I don't have any of Shamus' soil around, so I'm gonna make my own mix, and let's see how it goes. Let's go check out what I'm gonna put in the soil of this incredible avocado tree. Okay, here's the mix we're gonna make. We're gonna mix inside the wheelbarrow I'm probably going to take about 2 wheelbarrows full of this mix to backfill and surround the avocado's root system. And it's going to consist of a little bit of lava rock. It's going to have some really good organic, locally made compost. We're going to have some worm castings, lots of sand, so it drains really well. A little bit of gypsum, a little bit of coconut coir to retain some moisture, some native soil, and of course the stuff in the secret bag, which I'll show you later. This is one of the most important things to put with this tree. My goal with this tree is to give him lots of nutrients, but a well-draining soil. So I don't want him to be sitting in muck, but I also don't want him to be devoid of nutrients. So the goal is to have a mix of sandy soil with good nutrients, hence the lava, volcanic rock, the worm castings, and I'm even going to put some azomite rock dust minerals in with this mix as well. I think that making a good soil mix for a garden or for a tree, especially a non-native tree, is just like making a really good stew. You gotta make a good broth, and you gotta put a lot of good vegetables in there with good spices. And in my opinion, the more stuff in the stew, the better. I know a lot of you out there might be watching, might be experts, and have a lot more knowledge about edible trees than me. And you might be making a different soil if it was you. But I'm gonna do the best I can, and hopefully the tree will be happy and healthy. Worm castings. Sand. And this sand has got a little bit of mesquite leaves added in there from my mesquite tree, so that's really good for nitrogen. A little bit of gypsum. I know a lot of you might not put coconut coir in, but I do, because I find that it's so hot here in Tempe in the summer that my tree tends to do a lot healthier because it has a little bit added moisture. I've never had a tree die on me because of rot or because of over moisture. It's always either because of cold winters or because of hot summers. So I want to keep the moisture in the soil. And then some native soil. Let's stir it up. Looks like a really good stew. I might eat this for dinner tonight. While I stir this up, you guys might look over my right shoulder and see my dog Tesla over there. She's standing in a little bit of a gully. And that's where I'm going to put the second avocado tree, in that little gully. Because the one we're planting right now on the pond is going to get a lot of sun. It's going to have sun most of the day. But the one I'm going to put by that little gully over there is going to have afternoon shade. And we'll have a comparison and we'll see which one does better. The full sun or the afternoon shade. So check out this mix we've got. It looks really good. It's got the lava rock, it's got the sand, it's got the azomite rock dust minerals, it's got little coconut coir, some compost, some native soil, lots of worm castings. And I think this tree is going to love this. It'll be really, really healthy stuff. So, you see how I've dug the hole about twice the size of the pot that the avocado tree is sitting in right now. There was a California rare fruit growers article about this tree and the whole story that goes behind it, and I'll put that article, the link to it, in the description below this video, so go check that out and read it. The story is so fantastic. You guys heard Shamus's rendition already. They call it a Don Juan avocado, but I like Aravaipa because I like the Native American terminology. I think it sounds really good. My dog's name is Havasupai, so I love that. And so this hole we have to backfill and give this avocado tree a really good foundation to rest on. So here's how we do it. half this wheelbarrow went into the bottom of the hole. Now, I'm just estimating, but I'm guessing that that will be about the perfect amount of soil so that the top of his root system is even with the ground. Now, one thing Shamus told me is that avocados notoriously do not like to be transplanted. It's going to be my job right now to make this transplant as seamless as possible. And I know that Shamus has done such an amazing job with these plants in terms of nutrients, in terms of the roots. He even does a foliar feed. He feeds the trees through the leaves with a spray. So I feel like Shamus is the tree and planting equivalent of a Kung Fu grandmaster. So I don't want to F up his masterful work here. So it's going to be my job to do him justice and make this transition as seamless as possible. So check it out. Let's take this tag off here first. I'm going to remove these pieces of tape that are at the bottom. And let's see how gentle I can be. Guy, maybe a little too low. Let's buff it up a little bit. Oh yeah, that should be just perfect. What do you think, Pam? Is it turned the right way? Yes?
Yeah.
I think it looks nice. Okay, now we're going to fill up all the open space around the root ball. I'm really excited for this tree because since my wife and I first got together, we both had an affinity toward gardening. Some of my friends used to say, "Hey, who's this new girl you're dating named Pam?" I'm like, "She's so cool. We just had a date and where we just gardened the whole time." And they go, "Oh right, gardening." I was like, "No, for real." And so the one thing, when we first met, she had planted a bacon avocado at her parents' house in Arcadia, and it grew to be a humongous tree. It didn't have much fruit, but a huge avocado tree. So we've always wanted to have an avocado together. And it looks like this one with its thick leaves and native origins will be our best shot at having an avocado here in the Phoenix, Tempe area. I'm a little low on soil. I'm gonna go mix a little bit more, and then we gotta water this guy quickly before the roots dry out. Okay, we got the second load. Let's get this guy filled to the top. The conditions today, in my opinion, are perfect. It's like 85 degrees outside today, and it's overcast and cloudy, which I think, in my opinion, will eliminate any kind of transplant shock this guy will have. And I'm really excited about planting this today. It's nice and cloudy. It's very a blustery, overcast day. It seems perfect. Now, if you can see how I got this guy right at the top of the root ball, and then I got three things going for me right now. I'm going to take this tape off because now I want him to develop a strong trunk, and I don't need him to have this crutch anymore because he's out of the pot now. Then I'm going to pull this bamboo stick out. I'll use that for my tomatoes later on this year. And then I'm going to number three, I wanted to tell you guys that look what's around this guy. We have a salt bush called a quail bush back here, which doesn't need to be watered. It runs off native. A pineapple guava or a feijoa right here, which we grow for the edible flowers. It has really delicious flowers. And since the sun rises over there, we're hoping that these two plants, this pineapple guava and the salt bush, will be really good companions for this avocado and give him a little bit of diffused light, cause him to have a good transition into this spot, and then allow him to get mature. And once he's mature, he can shade himself. As you can see, I only filled them up to the top of the roots. So now I told you guys about the mystery bag. Well, here is what is in the mystery bag. Leaves and mulch. And I probably collected about 30 to 50 bags of leaves and mulch from my neighbors and friends this season alone. And we spread them underneath every tree to heavily mulch above the root system of all the trees. And it really encourages worm life and microbial action and helps the health of the soil and really helps it to retain moisture. You'll water 3 times to 4 times less if you put a lot of mulch on top of your trees. So look what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw this on top and try to create a foresty atmosphere for this Aravaipa native Arizona avocado, sometimes called a Don Juan.
Oh, those smell nice.
Yeah. The cool thing about this one, it came from my neighbor's tree, and he put them through a little chopper first, so they're all kind of chopped up already. Perfect. I love it. And as they break down, I'll add more. Now, to finish this job off, normally I put my hose in on a very low setting, do a nice low, deep, slow water. But today I want to be good to this tree, so I'm going to do 2 things. One, I've got some rainwater that I harvested off my house. We have our entire roof tapped, and we harvest the rainwater that hits our house. So this is water left over from the last rain. I'm gonna give this guy some rainwater, which will be a lot healthier and better and contain more good stuff for the roots of this tree. The other thing is I did not water this avocado today because I wanted him to have his first water of the day in his new spot, drinking in all those new nutrients. So we watered him yesterday morning, and we kind of put him in here. This is the first water he's seen in 24 hours, which is going to be great for drinking in those new nutrients. And as if that's not enough, the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give him 2 more of these guys full of water, but I'm going to get it directly from my pond. So there will be some good fish nutrients in there from the koi poop. Put in some fish water in there. When I'm watering these guys for the first time, I try to visualize. I close my eyes and I try to feel the plant. I've always been an athlete who's a good field player, like golf and such, and I try to feel how much water is appropriate to seep all the way down there and fill up that entire root ball. And that's usually how much water I put in, just kind of the feeling that I get. So good, there's the appropriate amount of water. We'll call this guy Yin. Let me show you where we're going to plant the Arizona avocado we're going to call Yang. We'll take a trip over there with Supai, the other Native American. Let's go, Supai. This spot is made possible by my wife Pam. She gave me permission to put a tree right here because I was able to convince her that hopefully this avocado will be big enough to create a big canopy and allow this area to stay open despite the one trunk in the middle that we can walk around. So this is where the sun rises over there, and it goes up this way and sets over there. So this nice mesquite tree shades my rabbit chubs, shades my dogs, and hopefully it'll give afternoon shade after about 1 o'clock or so, diffused light afternoon shade to this incredible avocado, which is right here. So I'll get to planting this guy and I'll come back to you when I'm all done. We're using the same mix, same planting techniques, just in this hole right here. Right? Alright, you guys, that's about all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this episode and episodes like this, smash that thumbs up button there, give us a like on this video, and subscribe to my channel in order to see the progress, because I'll upload video 2, video 3, video 4, video 5, and I'll upload a video once or twice a season, every season, as long as I'm alive, so you guys can see the progress of this native Arizona Aravaipa Avocado Tree and see which one does better, yin or yang. Definitely go out and check out Shamus O'Leary's Tropical Trees in Phoenix. Got the best trees in town. And when you go to Shamus, tell him that Jake Mace sent you. You saw him in one of my videos. And I will see you guys in our next episode.